Fluttershy had fallen to her knees in a fit, her face turning beet red as she lay witness to her own self-destruction. I finally found something I'm good at, and I scared them away. I finally found a friend, and she probably hates me now. I really am no good. It's okay. Fluttershy shivered as a hoof touched her along the withers. She looked up just as the hovering Dash moved her leg away. The blue pony was smiling. Sorry about that. It's an awesome talent, really. I know I can't do anything like that. Fluttershy squeaked in response, but did manage to flash a smile up at towards her new friend. The cyan filly flapped her wings, flipping about in the mid-air before landing back on the cloud. But you really want to spend the rest of your life down here? How can you even stand this place? The floor looks so hard. She shuddered. The yellow Pegasus looked down at the soft grass beneath her hooves. She could feel something solid beneath, a feat that she wasn't easily replicated with the clouds. At most, you wouldn't get some columns and walls, mostly built out of hardened cloud matter or enchanted materials from unicorn enchantments. And even those were only used to keep the pieces of the city ponies walked on from collapsing or drifting away. But this was different. Well, I guess if it is a little rough, she sighed. She would have said more, but stopped when she heard a gentle buzzing in her ears. Fluttershy turned to find herself staring at several bees, no doubt from the same hive she had found when she first landed. The swarm buzzed something that almost resembled a code before flying over a nearby patch of flowers and coordinating themselves into an arrow pointing downwards. Dash yelped and hid behind the cloud as best she could, even pulling up an edge to give herself some more cover. What are those things? Sorry if it's a little loud, guys. I'll make sure to turn it down a little bit on the next one. Those are bees, Fluttershy said with a smile. Without them, we wouldn't have honey. Yeah, sure, whatever, Dash moaned. Just keep them away from me, all right? If Fluttershy was listening, she certainly did not show any sign of doing so. Instead, she cantered up to the flowers, and with a definite yank, pulled out a few with her mouth. She then walked them back and set them on the ground before Rainbow Dash's cloud. The smaller pony poked her head over the edge, eyeing the things with bemused frustration. What are these things for? You don't see these growing in Cloudsdale, do you? Fluttershy said. They're so lovely, and she bit off one of the petals and swallowed. Delicious. She looked back up at her new friend. Would you like some? Dash let an exaggerated gag. No thanks. I don't trust anything that comes from this place. How do you know those bees weren't trying to poison you? She ducked down inside the cloud again, with only her eyes poking out in case any pony or anything tried to gobble her up. I bet there's a plan. Get you all messed up with their weird plans until you're passed out, so they can carry you off to work in their honey mines. Fluttershy raised an eyebrow. Honey doesn't come from mines. And like I told you, they aren't evil. They may sting you if they get mad, though. Dash sank deeper into her impenetrable cumulus force field. Look, it's awesome and all that you love it down here so much. Really, I couldn't be happier for you. But there is no way any pony is going to convince me that anything good comes from down here. Fluttershy moaned. She was still enjoying Dash's company, even if she was being a little more than a little irritating. What with the constant accusations and paranoid delusions and all. But it was really getting rather tiring to talk to what amounted to a low-flying pile of condensed vapors. Dash, do you want to come down? I mean, if you don't mind, Dash poked out her head from the cloud, her eyes narrowing in a furious gaze. Fluttershy squealed and shrank back a few hoof steps. Rainbow's response was a little more than curt. No, no, no. But there's so much down here, Fluttershy squeaked. And if I wanted to look at it, I could do it just fine from Cloudsdale, Rainbow Dash snapped. Her entire body rose up from the cloud, her wings beating to a furious beat to keep her afloat. I don't care if this is where food comes from. I don't care if these animals can fool you into thinking they're cute and cuddly, and I really don't care if dirt isn't going to devour you whole if you step on it. There's no way I'm ever gonna spend my time on a stupid ground like Earth Pony or a unicorn. We're Pegasi. We belong in the clouds. But I'm no good at... Fluttershy cowered even more, her heart slowly breaking. And if you want to spend all your time down here with a bunch of lame brain monsters, then fine. But I'm not going to stay here a moment longer. Fluttershy whimpered as the first few tears traced down her cheeks. I thought we were friends. Fluttershy froze before she could launch into another rant, into another wild rant. Only the beating of her wings remained to show she was still alive and breathing. Fluttershy turned her head away from the rather mean Pegasus, as her low moans morphed into loud sobs. Dash opened her mouth to give her some kind of apology when she felt something tug on her tail. The filly looked down in panic, and soon confirmed her worst fears. A chipmunk had grabbed her tail with its teeth, its black eyes filled with intense loathing for the bully that had just insulted its new best friend. Dash screamed and tried to pull it up with all her might, but alas, her first attacker was soon joined by a small horde of bunnies, squirrels, badgers, beavers, and even a platypus or two. The sheer weight at her rear end quickly proved too much for the foal. Her wings slowed to a crawl as she exhausted herself, sending the pony toppling backwards into a furry pile. The filly's eyes widened as the animals closed in on her. They all seemed to eye her voracilously, sizing up her limbs and barrel for their dinner. Fluttershy noticed none of this, and she was too afraid to even look at the downed Rainbow Dash. I thought she liked me, but she's just like every pony else. Who could possibly like a talentless, flightless little pony like me? Fluttershy! The yellow Pegasus finally snapped back, just in time to see one of Rainbow's outstretched hooves be taken down by a possum. The yearling immediately broke out of her funk and galloped towards the crowd. Her eyes widened with terror as Dash's scream continued. My friends, what are you doing? I know she was mean, but that doesn't give you the right to pick on her like that. The animals didn't listen. They continued to press themselves against the terrified filly. Fluttershy threw herself at the furry gathering, desperately trying to convince them to let Dash go or break her free herself. But nothing doing. I guess she meant, but doing nothing. And then came the shout, Stop! Fluttershy! Mommy! Daddy! Please get them off of me! I don't want to get eaten! I don't want to be a monster snack! I can't do the voice acting, sorry. No, please make them stop, please! Oh, Celestia, that tickles! No, not the withers! Stop, please! I give up! Fluttershy's ears perked straight up. Is she laughing? Their horrible mission was complete. The animals parted enough for the Fluttershy to pass. Sure enough, Dash was laying on the ground, wings extended, while a few small critters tickled her back. The filly was crying, not out of pain or fear, but from laughing so hard her sides were hurting. Fluttershy could barely stifle a similar uproar with one hoof, and even then more than a few snorts and giggles managed to break through. That's enough. I think that's all she. Think she's had all she can take. The animals fired off a happy salute and broke formation. Dash continued her laughing fit for a few more moments before leveling her eyes back at Fluttershy. Did you plan that? Fluttershy gasped. I didn't. I couldn't. I mean, I never wanted them to do something like that. I just wanted to show you how nice it was down here, and, well, now you are. Yeah, I guess you're right, Dash said. With a groan, the filly picked herself back up to her hoofs. It was right as she was tucking her wings back in that what Fluttershy had actually said struck her. Wait, I'm on the ground? Fluttershy nodded. And there's so much more. Why, one of the butterflies was telling me about this beautiful meadow, and Rainbow Dash tuned out her newfound friends lectured, and the wonders of Equestria's ground level. Instead, she took to simply staring at the underside of one of her forehooves. The rubbery surface was now covered in green stains and small bits of brown dirt. Something she had never seen before in her life. Ponies could still get dirty in Cloudsdale, but it was mostly, working in the factories or, according to her father, the stupid ponies in Philadelphia turning on their fans and blew their pollution towards the city to spite them. In any case, dirt didn't struck under hooves like it did down here. And then there were the animals. She had been expecting ferocious pony-devouring monstrosities capable of picking her bones clean within seconds. And yet, a few she had seen appeared to be downright friendly. Outside of the tickle attack, not a single one had made any real hostile action towards her. And even the ones she saw on the way down didn't exactly look like they were hankering to make their next meal. And besides, if they wanted to eat a pony, I don't think they would have much trouble with Fluttershy. Nothing was matching up with what she had imagined. Everything looked so remarkably peaceful. And the sky was a wonder to behold. The camp looked so distant, like a tiny star dancing amongst the heavens. Fluttershy was right. This place really is awesome. But then there was a problem. There was still a problem. And then we can feed ducks by the pond, and, Fluttershy? Dash asked, her voice uncharacteristically sheepish. I really think it's time we started heading back. It's already been too long. Almost instantaneously, Fluttershy stopped talking and swirled on her hooves to face Dash. The younger pony could feel her nerves tighten as she saw the absolute terror in Fluttershy's eyes. But why? Why do we even have to go back to that terrible place? Terrible? Fluttershy leaned in closer. Haven't you seen how the other foals tease me? They call me things like Clutchershy and keep chanting how I can't fly. I'm not a good flyer like you, Dash. I can't keep up with every pony else. I'm already too old for that camp to begin with. I'm a laughing stock in my family. I don't even have a single friend. So Rainbow Dash wisely decided to take a few steps back, just in case Fluttershy decided to cry again. She needed maximum distance to both console her and maintain her coolness ratio. Okay, of course, her radical ratio and her awesomeness ratio, but, that's another story. Okay, first off, don't worry about what the other foals, what the other foals say, okay? A lot of them are just jerks. I mean, they make fun of me, too. She crossed her eyes and made a ridiculous O shape with her mouth. Oh, hello, Rainbow Crash. Did you knock over any bleachers today? Or did you punch a hole through the roof of City Hall again? Oh, and did you electrocute yourself just because you were a dummy who thought going through a thunderstorm would make you faster? Duh, duh, duh. She turned to her face back to normal with a definite retch. I swear, one of these days I'm gonna do a sonic boom right past their windows.